Welcome to day 29 of our semester for our yoga class at Tarrant County College. My name is Eli and we will begin in our seated position. We can have crisscross legs if this is a comfortable seated position for you. Let's place our hands onto our abdominals and feel our breath enter and exit our bodies. As we breathe in, our rib cage expands like an accordion. As we breathe out, our rib cage closes like an accordion. Breathing in and breathing out. Placing our wrists towards our knees or inner thighs, creating a circular motion, shoulder towards opposite knee. One breath, one movement, body and mind working together, breath and movement matching. We reverse the direction of this circular motion. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Finding ourselves in a seated upright position, let's switch the cross of our legs if we have crisscross legs, hands resting by our sides. Activated, seated, lateral flexion. Breathe in, both arms to the sky. Breathe out, drop one hand to the side and lean on over. One breath, one movement, body and mind working together. Breath and movement matching. The next time we breathe in, let's keep both arms elevated up and overhead. The next time we breathe out, we release hands and energy to our heart center. Resting our hands by our sides, we breathe in, lengthen arms up and overhead. Breathe out, release hands to heart center. Breathe in, lengthen arms back up and overhead. Breathe out as we rest our hands by our sides. One breath, one movement. Body and mind continuing to work together. Breath and movement matching. Instead of a word of the day, answering this question, what is your favorite song? Or what is your favorite style of music? On our next inhalation, let's clasp our hands up and overhead. As we breathe out, press those palms forward. Breathe in, lengthen our arms back up and overhead. Breathe out, rest our hands by our sides. If you'd like to straighten your legs forward, you may. Maybe add a forward fold with pressing those arms forward. Complete options as we continue to breathe and to move. And again, instead of a word of the day, what is your favorite song or what is your favorite style of music? It could be your favorite musical group as well. The next time we breathe in, let's keep our arms elevated up and overhead. Then we breathe out, release our hands to our heart center. We're sending our feet towards the backs of our mats. Child's pose extended as a little muscle memory of a place we can return to if we'd like to take a break. Breathe into our plank or our modified plank, upper body flow. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe and drop the hips, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog, or child's pose extended. Again, upper body flow, breathing into our plank. Breathe out, chaturanga. Breathe and roll up dog. Breathe out, maybe add your extra push-up back to your down dog or your child's pose. Breathing into our plank. Breathe out, chaturanga. Better knees to hit the mat than chest or belly. Breathe in, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose extended. And breathing into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose extended. If you're in down dog, let's walk the dog. We have starfish hands, even weight distribution amongst our fingertips and our palms. We rest our knees back down to the mat, cat-cow postures. Breathe out, we round our mid-back to the sky for our cat. Breathe in, we arch and send our eye gaze towards the ceiling. Breathing out as we round, breathing in as we arch. Creating a C-curve shape with our spine in two opposing directions. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Returning to a neutral spine, we're going to sit back towards our heels and wrap our feet around towards the front of our mats, finding ourselves on our backs for an activated bridge pose. Breathe in, we lengthen our arms up and overhead. Breathe out, we raise our booty off of the mat as we drop our hands by our sides. Breathe in, resting the butt, elevating the arms. Breathing out as we lift the butt and drop our hands down by our sides. Let's stay here in our bridge with our hands resting by our sides. Drop your right hip down, lift that right hip up, then your left hip down, then lift it up. So right hip dip, left hip dip, right and left. Breathe with this. 3 more counts. 2 and 1. Rest that booty all the way back down. Hands to your forehead, behind the head, or crisscross in front of your chest. You can keep your feet anchored and curl up into an abdominal crunch, and then rest back down. Maybe raise your legs up to the height, your feet up to the height of your knees, with your pelvis tilted inward to protect the low back. Shh. Blowing out on the exertion, breathing in as we go against gravity. Shh. 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 Last one like this, resting our feet down, Placing our right ankle onto our left thigh. Hands can go to the forehead behind the head or crisscross. We're going to draw shoulder towards opposite knee and then return to our starting position. Maybe as we lift the shoulder, we can raise that bottom foot as well. Up to you, or you keep the foot anchored to the floor. Visualizing our core center getting stronger so we have a better place to extend from, a better place to return to in our yoga practice. Let's rest our feet down, trade it out other side. Armpit towards opposite knee, possibly raising our bottom foot off of the mat as we raise our shoulder off of the mat. Last one. Resting our feet back down. Let's roll over to one side and gently press ourselves up to our seated position. We're wrapping our feet around towards the backs of our mats. Hands towards the front of our mats. Downward facing dog. Walk the dog. Alternate as we press one heel down, then the other. Let's step our right foot forward. Kneeling warrior, dropping our left knee to the mat. Breathe in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands. We step back, downward facing dog or child's pose. Now we step our left foot forward, resting our right knee to the mat. Breathing in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathing out, releasing our hands as we step back, downward facing dog or child's pose. Let's walk, hop, or jump feet forward, forward fold. Softening our knees to alleviate low back pressure. Using the power of our legs, let's breathe in, circle sweep our arms to the sky. Breathing out, activated chair. Feet can be touching each other, inner thighs connected, or feet about hip distance apart. Select the option that works best for your body. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose, if possible. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. The next time we breathe in, let's keep our arms lengthened up and overhead. The next time we breathe out, we release hands to heart center. Stepping our left foot back into a wide sunflower stance. 5-pointed star, moon god. Breathing into our 5-pointed star. Breathing out as we sink into our moon god. Warming up our larger muscle groups before we move into any complex postures. Maybe adding warrior 2 arms for every other moon god. Possibly adding warrior 2 legs with our warrior 2 arms. On our next inhalation, we hold in our 5-pointed star. On our next exhalation, we release our hands to our heart center. We're stepping forward towards the front of our mats, standing mountain pose, sun salutations. We breathe in, lengthen our arms up and overhead. Breathing out, we're swan diving, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we're gazing forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, we step our right foot back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands as we step back, down dog, or child's pose extended. We breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, drop the hips, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog, or child's pose extended. We step our right foot forward. Left knee to the mat or not, you decide. Breathe in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in when we reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose, left side. Breathe in, we lengthen back up, extended mountain. Breathing out, we're swan diving, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we gaze forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, we step our left foot back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing in, we lengthen heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands as we step back, down dog or child's pose extended. We breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, drop the hips, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose extended. We step our left foot forward. Breathing in, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing out, release our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in, we reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose, right side. Breathe in, lengthen back up, extended mountain. Breathing out as we swan dive, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we gaze forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, we step our right foot back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathe in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands as we step back, down dog. Our child's pose, maybe left leg kicks up to a three-legged down dog. Let's breathe into our plank or modified plank. Left leg can remain lifted. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Better knees to hit the mat than chest or belly. Breathe in, both feet to the mat, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog. Or child's pose extended. We step our right foot forward. Kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathe in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands when we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in, we reverse our swan. Breathe out, chair pose, left side. Breathe in, lengthening back up, extended mountain. Breathing out when we swan dive, hinge from our hips, forward fold. Breathe in, looking forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, we step our left foot back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands as we step back, down dog or child's pose, maybe right leg kicks up to a three-legged down dog. We breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, both feet to the mat, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose. We step our left foot forward. Breathing in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in when we reverse our swan. Breathe out, chair pose. Right side. Breathe in, lengthen back up, extended mountain. Breathing out, swan diving, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we gaze forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, our right foot steps back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands when we step back, down dog, or child's pose, maybe left leg kicks up to our three-legged down dog. We breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose. we step our right foot forward. Breathing in, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathe out, release our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in to reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose. Left side. Breathe in, lengthen back up, extended mountain. Breathing out, we're swan diving, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we gaze forward, monkey. Breathe out, we step our left foot back. Kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathe in, lengthening arms or no arms. Breathe out, release our hands as we step back, down dog or child's pose. Maybe right leg kicks up to our three-legged down dog. We breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, roll up dog, both feet to the mat. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose. We step our left foot forward. Breathing in, arms or no arms. Breathe out, we release our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in, we reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose. Let's breathe in, lengthen those arms back up and overhead. Breathing out, releasing hands to heart center. Chest expansion, interlacing our hands behind our backs. Maybe elevating those arms up towards the ceiling. We could stay here. We could include a forward fold if we'd like to multitask. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. If we are in our forward fold, soften those knees and slowly return to a standing upright position. We step our left leg back again into our wide sunflower stance. Taking our arms out to our warrior two arms, turning our left toes to face the back of our mat, pressing our right heel towards the front of our mat. We fold through our left knee joint for a warrior two, sink into low body, expand back with our upper body, maybe gazing towards our left fingers, always breathing. Possibly pressing through the outside of our right heel. Strengthening through our left quadriceps, imagining a friend tugging onto each hand equally. We're breathing. We reverse our warrior, expanding waist through rib cage and chest. Returning to our warrior two arms. Triangle pose, straightening through our left knee joint. Breathe in, lean towards the back of our mat. Breathe out, drop our left hand to knee, shin, block, ankle, foot, or floor. Press those hips forward, lengthen up through the tips of our right fingers, and breathe. Let's return to our warrior two arms, resting our hands down, adjusting our feet to our sunflower feet, then transitioning to the other side, turning our right toes to face the front of our mat, pressing our left heel towards the back of our mat, returning to our warrior two arms, returning to our warrior two legs, sink into low body, expanding back with our upper body, pressing through the outside of our left foot, maybe gazing towards our right fingers, always breathing. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Twisting right palm to the sky, dropping left hand towards left leg, reversing our warrior spirit. We return to our warrior two arms, straightening through our right knee joint. Triangle pose, breathe in, lean towards the front of our mat, breathe out, drop our right hand to knee, shin, block, ankle, foot, or floor. Maybe gazing up towards our left fingers, always breathing, expanding through the tips of those fingers. And instead of a word of the day, answering this question, what is your favorite song or what is your favorite type of music or your favorite musical group, band. Let's come back to our warrior two arms. Release our hands down, adjusting our feet to our sunflower feet. Prayer pose arms. Moon salutations. Breathing into our five-pointed star. Breathe out as we sink into our moon god. Breathe in, shoot back up to our five-pointed star. And continue. One breath, one movement, brief return. Body and mind working together. Breath and movement matching. Moving towards the front of our mats. Crescent lunge towards the front of our mats. Or kneeling warrior, it's okay to drop our left knee to the mat. Sink into low body, expanding back with our upper body, we breathe. On our next exhalation, releasing our hands by our right foot, pyramid pose, stepping the left foot slightly inward, attempting to straighten through our right knee. It's okay to have hands to textbooks or blocks. Shifting our hips forward and back, hands can stay as they are, maybe upside down prayer pose arms, possibly chest expansion arms. We can stay here in our pyramid. If you'd like to join me for balancing half moon, folding through the right knee joint, walking the fingertips forward about 12 inches in front of the right foot. Maybe stay there, possibly raise the left foot up to the height of our spine, potentially left hand towards left leg, maybe left fingertips to the sky. Always breathing. Dorsiflex this left heel, pulling it behind you. Safely, we release fingers and toes. We can move those blocks over to the backs of our mats. And prayer squat, adjusting our feet to our sunflower feet, hands to heart center. Possibly remaining upright, potentially hinging forward. Always breathing. The next time we breathe in, we return to our five-pointed star. Breathing out when we sink into our moon god. Breathe in, shoot back up to our five-pointed star. Breathing out as we sink into our moon god. Crescent lunge towards the backs of our mats on our next inhalation. Possibly dropping our right knee to the mat for a kneeling warrior if we had selected this option on the first side. We release our hands down, pyramid pose, step the right foot slightly inward, straighten through the left knee joint if possible. Hands can be on blocks or textbooks, shifting our hips forward and back. Chest expansion arms or upside down prayer pose arms as options. Possibly stay here in our pyramid, maybe balancing half moon options, folding through the left knee joint, walking our fingers about 12 inches in front of our left foot, maybe stay there. Possibly raise our right foot up to the height of our spine, potentially right hand towards right leg, maybe right fingertips to the sky, potentially eye gaze to the side of our mat. Dorsiflexing right heel, pulling that right heel behind us. Balancing half moon can also be achieved up against a wall if we are balance challenged. Carefully, we release fingers and toes. Keep your blocks on this side. We're walking our hands towards the center of the mat, adjusting our feet to our sunflower feet. Prayer squat to complete our moon salutation, upright or hinged forward. 2 more moon salutations will go towards the backs of our mats to accommodate the placement of those blocks if we're using blocks. Let's breathe in, five-pointed star. Breathe out, moon god. Breathe in to shoot back to our five-pointed star. Breathe out as we sink into our moon god. On our next inhalation, crescent lunge or kneeling warrior towards the backs of our mats. Releasing our hands down, pyramid pose. Releasing our right heel down, straightening through our left knee joint. Balancing half moon option, folding through our left knee, walking our fingertips about 12 inches in front of our left foot. Maybe raise the right foot, maybe raise the right hand. Possibly send the eye gaze to the side of our mat. Carefully releasing fingers and toes. Move those blocks down towards the front of your mat. Adjust your feet. Sunflower feet, prayer squat to complete our moon salutation. Your selection, whether your heart center is parallel to the floor or parallel to the camera screen. On our next inhalation, 5-pointed star. Breathing out, moon god. Breathe in, shooting back up, 5-pointed star. Breathing out as we sink into our moon god. On our next inhalation, crescent lunge towards the front of our mat or kneeling warrior. Releasing our hands down by our right foot, stepping our left foot forward, pyramid pose, attempting to straighten through our right knee joint. Folding through the right knee joint, walking our fingertips forward. Maybe raising our left foot for our balancing half moon option. Possibly left hand towards left leg, maybe left fingertips to the sky. Releasing fingers and toes, blocks can stay there. Walking our hands over towards the center of our mats. Prayer squat to complete our moon salutation. Last moon salutation for our semester. The next time we breathe in, 5-pointed star. The next time we breathe out, we release hands to heart center. Let's shimmy our feet towards each other. Standing mountain pose. Palms are facing forward. Shoulders are melting away from our ears. Preparing to move into a standing dancer pose. If you'd rather lay on your side to help out balance issues, you may. Otherwise, folding our right elbow, sending our left foot towards our left hand. Maybe stay here. You can take this hand to a wall as well if you need some assistance for balance. Potentially extending or straightening through our right elbow joint. Possibly hinge forward, maybe send both hands to this elevated foot. Carefully returning to center. For those of us standing, mountain pose, reconnecting body and mind. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Folding through our left elbow joint, possibly sending our right foot to our right hand. Maybe extending through the left elbow joint, possibly stay here, potentially hinge forward, maybe send both hands to our right foot. We carefully return to center, standing mountain pose. If we're in a standing position, let's make a quarter turn towards the front of our mats. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. We breathe in, circle sweep our arms to the sky. Breathe out, we're swan diving, hinging from our hips, returning to our forward fold. Firmly grounding our palms to the mat. If this means we need to bend our knees to get here, fold those knees ever so slightly or ever so deeply. Let's walk, hop or jump, feet back, downward facing dog. Preparing for regular pigeon and possibly screaming pigeon. However, you're welcome to lay on your back and perform a modified version of our pigeon pose. Raise one knee up towards the sky, three-legged down dog. Let's sweep this knee up towards our chest and rest our foot to the other side of our mat, dropping onto our straightened leg. Possibly stay here, potentially releasing elbows and forearms to our mat. We surrender to our breath. We surrender to the pose. We can stay where we are if we'd like to attempt screaming pigeon, hands back underneath shoulders, folding the knee joint of our back leg and drawing our hand towards that foot. If we chose the screaming pigeon option, releasing the hold of our foot, sending our hands back underneath our shoulders, we step back, down dog, or child's pose extended. Lifting, for those of us in down dog, lifting our other knee up to the sky to balance out our screaming pigeon or regular pigeon. Sweeping this knee up towards the chest, resting this foot to the opposite side of our mat, dropping down onto the leg of our straightened knee joint. Releasing elbows and forearms down and breathing. Possible screaming pigeon, hands back underneath shoulders, folding through our knee joint, sending a hand or both hands to this foot. Always breathing. Gently we release, hands underneath shoulders, step back, down dog, return. Child's pose extended, completely acceptable. Upper body flow or hang out here in down dog or child's pose, breathing into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, chaturanga. Breathe in, brief return, one breath, one movement, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose extended. Breathing into our plank or modified plank. Breathe out, chaturanga. Breathe in, we roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose. Breathing into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, chaturanga. Breathe in, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose. Let's find ourselves in child's pose extended and walk our hands over to one side of our mat as we sink our booty to the opposite end. Walking our hands back to center and the opposing side along with our booty. Let's return to center. Walking our hands back towards our knees. Sitting onto our heels, wrapping our feet around towards the front of our mats. Seated position. We'll fold one knee for a seated spinal twist. Take the hand behind our buttocks. Take our opposite elbow or opposite hand to this knee. We can look towards the side of our mat, or we can look over behind us towards the back of our mat. Breathing in through the nose. Breathe out, possibly sink 1/10 of a millimeter deeper into this stretch. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. We return to center, switch to the other side, hand behind the back, hand or elbow to the outside of this knee, possibly sending our eye gaze over our back shoulder, always breathing. Let's gently return to center, butterfly pose, soles of the feet to touch, holding onto our ankles as opposed to our toes. We could stay upright. We could hinge forward, sending face over feet. Let's bring ourselves back up, extending our legs forward, forward fold from our seated position. Breathing in, lengthening arms up and overhead. Breathe out, hinge from our hips. If we have a strap, we can place a strap around the arches of our feet. Hands might rest at thighs, knees, shins, ankles, feet, or floor without the strap. Sinking upper body over lower body and breathing. Softening through our kneecaps. The next time we breathe in, we're looking forward, monkey pose. The next time we breathe out, we relax through head and neck. Releasing the hold of our feet or thighs, stacking our spine, sitting up nice and tall. Finding ourselves on our backs. Returning to another rotation of our spine. Straightening one leg and pulling one knee in towards our chest. We could just stay here if we prefer. Otherwise, pressing this knee to the opposite side and breathing. Dorsiflexing through the foot of our straightened leg. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the nose. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Let's return to center, resting this leg down, raising our other leg, and spinal twist, dorsiflex, the foot of the straightened knee, possibly eye gaze to our opposite arm. we gently return to center. Returning to our bridge pose, knees are bent, this time static instead of activated. Lifting our buttocks off of our mat, potentially interlacing our hands underneath our buttocks, possibly walking our shoulders a little bit closer towards each other. Some of us are able to raise our hips higher than others. Go to your comfort zone. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Let's carefully release the hold of our hands if we chose to interlace our hands. We're straightening our legs forward. Let's reach our arms up and overhead. Now reach through the right side of your body, right fingers, right toes, attempting to lengthen our spine. Now reach through the left side of your body, left fingers, left toes. And then reach through all four fingers and toes, all four entities. And release those hands down by your thighs. Finding ourselves folding our knees again. One more. Pigeon pose, modified, ankle to thigh. You can select the side. Raise your bottom foot off of the mat if that's in your arsenal. And clasping our hands behind the hamstrings of our bottom leg. Sending positive healing exhalations to any area of our body where we currently feel sensation. Let's release. We transition to the other side, ankle to thigh. And breathe. We carefully release, finding ourselves moving through some muscle tightening before we enter relaxation. Beginning with our toes, clenching through the muscles in the toes, moving that tension through the arches of our feet, our heels, our ankles, tightening up through the shins, tightening through the calves, moving into the knees, tightening up through the hamstrings, the quadriceps, the gluteal muscles, tightening into the low back, the rib cage, the abdominals, around up into the shoulder blades, into our biceps, our triceps, fold elbows, fists created, clenching at the jaw, holding on to every single muscle we can create in our bodies for tension. Now from where we started, let's begin to soften, relaxing through those toes, relaxing through the arches in our feet, softening through the tops of our feet, releasing tension in the ankles and the heels, softening through the shins, softening through the calves, moving up into the quadriceps, the hamstrings, relaxing through the buttocks, releasing tension in the pelvis, softening through those abdominals, releasing tension, moving up through the spine and the rib cage, relaxing through those shoulders, softening through the biceps and the triceps, softening the inner elbows, releasing through the wrists, letting go of our fists, palms facing the sky, releasing tension in the jaw. Let's swallow to relax through our communication center. The eyes can remain closed. We're breathing. If we're more comfortable as we lay here on our backs, With our knees bent, we're welcome to bend those knees. We're welcome to lay on a side into a fetal position. This is your time to breathe. This is your time to feel. If a thought comes to mind, allow your exhalation to erase it. onto one side, returning to a fetal position. Noticing any positive transformational changes that may have occurred during today's session. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Returning to a seated position. Creating our circle.